This is the December 19, 2013 reading from Blossom Goodchild's channeling of the Federation of Light. Blossom says, "Welcome to you. I would firstly like to open my heart in love to you." Done. And secondly, inquire about the beautiful magenta pillar of light that was captured on a photograph recently. Blossom makes reference to her blog post at blossomgoodchild.blogspot.com. This for me is so similar to the image you showed me way back in 2011 when you first brought it up. Would you please confirm as to whether this is what you were speaking of or something else? And the Federation responds, "Firstly, we send love in an abundant form to each of you. We find it necessary to consider that which we address in terms of accuracy. And we are bursting forth with our signature in this way. So yes, indeed, we would say this is the beginning of that which we were speaking of." And Blossom asks, "Meaning that there will be many more?" And the Federation responds, "As we promised there would be, yet take into consideration the fact that this image was captured in the blink of an eye. We would foretell that the pillars, when they arrive, shall remain and travel in an array of rainbow light. And, as with your fireworks, when alighted, there shall be an outpour of oohs and ahs." And Blossom says, "Well, it certainly would be a delight to actually see them after all this time, that's for sure. Anything more you would care to speak of about them?" And the Federation says, "We spoke of them greatly way back then, and nothing has changed regarding the form, or format, they are to undertake. As one glimpses and becomes washed over in their beauty, one shall also experience the feeling of codes rushing through the brain. This, of course, shall be activating that which has lain dormant, as we have spoken of." And Blossom asks, "So may I be as bold as to ask if these pillars of light are part of the event that you've been speaking of?" And the Federation responds, "Indeed, that is correct. For have we not stated this is no ordinary affair? It is of a master plan, and therefore not something one would expect from any amateur display. We've spoken, too, that which shall take place regarding your awakening. It shall be one thing after another that's presented. What a sight for your hearts to indulge upon, indulge in, indulge through." And Blossom says, "Thank you. As you probably know, my grandson came into the world this week. Could you speak to us about reincarnation, etc., after the event? As many have asked about that. How will that work out?" And the Federation responds, "We would say to you that this is a very complex discussion. For, again, it will depend on where anyone's soul is within their journey. For when the event takes place, dearest Blossom, it will not be that one has arrived at their journey's end. The soul's path continues on, as it always has, and always will. Yet, what we would say is," and this is in all caps, by the way, "the event is an opportunity to have an incredible shift forward, incredible shift upward within the soul's growth. When you consider all that it has experienced so far, and all that it has accomplished, one cannot help but pride oneself in its evolution of soul expansion, through love, as love, of love. Yet, this event is the graduation, perhaps, the recognition of accomplishment for all works well done. It is, we would say, with words being inadequate once again, a reward for all that has been achieved, a boost for the system. A revaluation of one who is, and how well they have traveled. Remembering, too, that many, many lifetimes have been embarked upon in order to arrive at this very moment in time. Oh, how we desire to express more profoundly, yet we are unable. We say that you are to experience a sense of euphoria, and in that feeling of it, you shall know of humility. You shall know of love in its truth and how it feels inside the soul self to love all and everything, and at the same time, without judgment. Simply knowing love in its highest form. This is what is to come to you, dear souls. And in that moment, all that is not of love in its purest form shall be forgotten. You have known this feeling before, yet you've been unable to access it. When it returns, you shall remember it instantly, and home shall come to you. Whereas for so long, our dearest, bravest souls upon earth, you have felt that you are so far away from it. And Blossom says, this indeed sounds wonderful. As you say, beyond words. I so want to push you for a time frame because such excitement is building within our chats together, and therefore I am, rightly or wrongly, assuming that it will not be long now. Yet with all respect and from experience, we could be doing this all over again the same time next year. And the Federation responds, indeed, the concern for many as to the when is a matter which has caused much controversy in our council conversations. We do our very best to keep you up to date without giving the game away. For this, you know, is against the rules. Know in your hearts that this is to take place, as many of you already do. Hold fast to the feeling of truth that the resonance of these words stir up within. Hold fast also to the light that is you, and continue to shine it from your being as you communicate with others. For this is the way, and shall continue to be. And Blossom says, thank you. We sort of got off track regarding the reincarnation question. Is it too detailed to go into right now? And the Federation says, it is too detailed to go into at any time, let alone regarding after. Yet we shall do our best to give you some information to satisfy your appetite. What we are to say, some shall find too much to cope with. And Blossom says, oh, here we go. Hold on to your hats. And the Federation continues. For some souls who have traveled far and allowed their being to progress to a particular enlightened stage, they will have no need to leave their earthly body ever again. For the body has to accompany the soul. And Blossom says, sorry to interrupt, yet now on earth it doesn't have to, as the soul leaves for elsewhere when the physical body dies. So are you saying that this shall be different? And the Federation responds, for some, yet in the future, for all. For now, it'll depend, as we say, on the soul's positioning. So what we're meaning is, the body has to accompany the soul as both become lighter. For they shall travel together as they continue to progress. And Blossom says, I have a feeling this will stir up many questions for people, so can you clarify this a little more? What you are saying is after the event, some will never leave their physical body again. In other words, never die. And some will, according to the state, according to the place, their soul has reached after the event. And the Federation says, this is correct. Some will still feel the need to leave the physical body and return, due to belief systems, and also due to their need to start over again with a clean slate. It's an individual's choice, and one chooses according to the understanding of their truth in their time. So for some, that circumstance shall be viewed and acted out as it already is now. For others, however, they shall remain within their physicality and become at one, mind, body, and soul, in harmony. And the outer appearances shall, in time, reflect the inner light. That is left purely to one's own imagination. Yet, if you think of it in terms of one's light expanding in brightness through love, then picture the image one shall portray and display in honor of that. And Blossom says, sounds marvelous to me, so no more diets. And the Federation responds, yet are not many discovering the need for more light food and finding that their systems require and desire only that which is of nutritious feeding to sustain the lighter body they are blending with? And Blossom says, I believe so. Sadly, I'm not one of them. Yet. I'm working on it. And the Federation responds, if we may recap then, and summarize today's chat, would you not notice that life shall continue on in some ways very much as it is now, depending on one's choice to change after the change? For indeed a change shall take place within all, yet the decision is to be made as to whether or not one chooses to change because of the change, or remain in the same mindset, even though they have to acknowledge that a change certainly did take place. For those who choose to accept and acknowledge, we say, and Blossom says, hold on, let me guess, hold on to your hats? And the Federation says, immediately correct. For the excitement within the soul shall have one in such high spirits that the desire to sleep shall be only occasional and done so when absolutely necessary. Yet there will certainly be more desire to return to the meditative state in order to recoup energies and fly away for a time to places one was not able to do so before. And Blossom says, now I could be wrong, but that last sentence to me is one I would like to discuss in the next channeling. For I felt that you were inadvertently, and in parentheses she says, it's truth, I sound so intelligent. I felt that you were inadvertently speaking of transporting ourselves elsewhere. And the Federation says, correct. Yet indeed, Blossom, that is for another time when we're not at the end of a session. So, we take this last opportunity before the dates of your Christmas holiday to offer to you our deepest love. We so enjoy these times with you and have felt so much light and love from you all. It has made us swell with happiness to receive from you this love as it grows brighter in each and every moment from each one. Dearest souls, we love you. We honor you. Your work on earth shall be rewarded in a way that you cannot comprehend until the very moment when it all makes sense. Does that make sense to you, Blossom? And Blossom says, oh yes, thank you so very much. It's always such a pleasure to talk with you, and we shall keep our eyes to the skies, just in case those pillars of light decide to make an appearance. And the Federation says, it would be advisable to do so. And Blossom responds, "Steady now, Nettie. That's the kind of statement that has got you into trouble before." And the Federation responds, "Well then, we'll leave it there as we take our leave." And Blossom finishes up with, "Okay, cool. Merry Christmas to one and all. Ho, ho, ho. In love and thanks."